Good afternoon. This is Jim Whitehead of All Power Group and Phoenix Animal. Now, this is my second live today, and usually we try to have fun and hopefully do something that somebody would enjoy. But this afternoon, as you know, I'm an animal channel. I'm not an animal channel to say this would be the best choice in the sense of what is good for YouTube and what's good for the growth of my channel. There's a lot of other choices that could be a lot better. But when you honestly care for people and animals, and it's an animal channel, so I love animals, period. I've grown up that way. My mother was that way. My father was that way. So this again is not what you would say a contrived or manipulative type topic that I do pretty much every day. So what we're talking today about, and I have watched this very carefully or closely, and being a YouTube content creator, unfortunately, some of those that are in the community like myself that have the pleasure of putting these content plans or projects together, quite a few content creators in that area lost their homes. And I know I've watched a lot of these folks for years, way before I started doing YouTube full time again. But the two things that I need to just say is, one, the animals are innocent. Animals are there for you. Animals make life pleasurable until something like the LA fires come into the picture. So today, this is a tribute to our wonderful animals, those organizations that have helped, besides rescuing people. And again, you're trying to make sure that it isn't like this is better than this. No, they're both where you'd say they're all important. But the animals sometimes don't get as much press. And I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just what you want to see is those that are really doing their best to help both the people and the animals. So obviously this presentation is all a tribute to all the rescuers. But in this case, the rescuers and organizations that have helped so many animals in the LA area. As a quick aside, I want to thank Anis Fatima. I am the CEO of India. That's pretty cool. And Baseball Braden 4. Welcome. And I appreciate you coming on and maybe listening to my presentation. The recent Los Angeles wildfires had a devastating impact on both people and animals. However, many organizations and individuals have stepped up to help animals affected by the fires. You know, I have my little Jamie. She's an 11-year-old Shih Tzu, and I can go back and all the time, I'm 75, all the years and all the animals I've had, you love them all. And you wish they would all live forever. And in general, their lives are very short anyway. But unfortunately, when something like this happens, it could be where their life is shorter. They don't understand what's going on, although I say every day almost that the animals are very, very smart. They can't or don't understand everything that happens like this. Either hurricanes, fires, storms, so many other calamities that can cause a animal to basically not have the best life they should have, or continuing the best life they did have. Animal shelters and the rescue organizations, these organizations have been working tirelessly to provide temporary shelter, food, and medical care to displaced and injured animals. And, you know, you're seeing pictures that are generated, I have to say, you know, AI-wise, but these specific pictures, the request by me was that these were related to the LA fires. Now, I can't say for sure, but you never know. By the way, also, and I want those that come in on this also, we've got HAFSA, and I want to thank you also for being here. But the point is, the animals are always there for us, and we need to be there for them. And I know in some of the descriptions of the fires, so many people went back for their animals. So this was not where you'd say, oh, people didn't care as long as they're okay. That's not what the basis of our American people. They're good people, they work hard, and they take care of their animals. They have also been helping to reunite lost pets with their owners. Now, that is in itself hard because unless the dog or cat or whatever other animal, they a lot of times might have a tag or they might not have a tag that says, you know, where the owner and where they live. But let's face it, the amount of homes that were destroyed would make it where the separation of animals and their owners is widespread. So for someone to say, I have Jamie, for example, yes, we do have a tag on her and we do have our phone numbers, But you never know whether that would get destroyed or damaged, and they would have Jamie. And if I survived the fire, I wouldn't be sitting there going, well, it's good I survived the fire. I would honestly, and I know when you're watching YouTube, you have to kind of judge as to whether someone's being honest or just trying to make it where you're creating a presentation. But if I lost Jamie, I don't know what I would do. I just don't. And I have said many, many times, if something happened and I ended up living in my car, I mean, let's face it, we're all on the edge of having what we need and not having what we need. The not having our animals or not finding our animals and worrying about where they are, them not knowing where you are and not understanding anything. That's where the tough part is. So the other heroes here are veterinarians. Veterinarians have been providing emergency medical care to injured animals, including treatment for burns, smoke inhalation, and other injuries. So, again, the people that have been involved in this to try to save property, save people, and our animals, it's just wonderful. I know there's been a lot of blaming why these fires and everything that goes along with that. But let's face it, it's not the owners of the homes generally that expected or thought, especially with some of these locations, that they would have the threat of a fire coming down a hill. I mean, Palisades or some of the other locations, you would look at it, especially the locations were right on the Pacific Ocean. I'm saying to myself, you would be in that home and you have a very small space and a beach, and you probably have a road, and then you have a hill. And you wouldn't necessarily at all think the fire is going to come down that hill. Now, what got a lot of homes were the embers. You know, the winds and the fire, unfortunately, it would take into the air because these are pretty strong winds, 60 to 100 miles an hour, that very readily they, unfortunately, pulled embers of things burning and transporting it to locations you would never guess it could happen. But it did. And it's not the people's fault. It's not the animals' fault. And I know the expectations. I know. You know, they've had quite a few storms, fire issues out there. And I know it's like, what can you do? And I'm sure there'll be a lot of meetings after they get the fire, done with. And it's like every day there's almost a new fire. There was one that I saw this morning. And, you're just saying, when is it going to end for the people out there and the animals? Now, besides all the heroes I've already mentioned, there are many volunteers that have been donating their time and resources to help animals affected by the fires. They have been helping with everything from transporting animals to shelters to providing foster care. And again, this is just a tribute. I wasn't even planning on doing this, to be honest with you. And I see somebody kind of didn't like what I'm doing here, but it is from the heart. And, you know, by being in an animal channel, and I do that every day, I have learned so much more about all animals here in the United States or anywhere else, that I have developed even a more strong appreciation and love for all the animals that we have. And we hope that better days are coming. Now, disaster relief organizations such as the Red Cross and the Humane Society have been providing financial assistance and other resources to help animals affected by the fires. Now, that is amazing because there are, of course, wonderful organizations that are animal related. But the Red Cross is not technically where you'd say what's their main purpose in life. It's for people. But for them to also be helping with taking care of our animals and doing everything that we can to try to help them. In addition to these efforts, many individuals have been donating money and supplies to help animals affected by the fires. The outpouring of support has been critical in helping ensure the safety and well-being of animals during this difficult time. Overall, the response to the LA fires have shown the compassion and resilience of human spirit. Even in the face of tragedy, people have come together to help those in need, including animals. Now, I'm going to say something political. And I generally recognize or feel that you need to try to keep politics out of things. And a lot of the channels on YouTube are all based on good and bad, I guess, the political world that's around us. I've done everything to stay away from that. Because, I could really be very honest and say and how I feel about, especially now, our politicians that, generally speaking, have not said anything nice about all the bad things that have happened to the people in LA and the animals. I can't accept that. And will work on my side and everything I can do to make sure that we have a good future. Now I'm 75. How long do I have? The average age is 78, and certainly you can go beyond that. I'm doing everything I can to stay well, but it's tough. But the appreciation of all the people of many ages have done everything they can to try to help the folks in LA. And I think we have to make sure that we try to work with politicians that are not just out for themselves. And again, as I said, I don't usually get into political discussions. But when you feel so bad about what's happening, I guess saying it makes you feel a little bit better. But I want to thank you for being here and for what you all are doing to help the folks and animals in Los Angeles. Anyway, thank you very much for letting me do this for you, and please take care. Thank you.